Hi, friends and fellow Earth Angels. It's Gladys, and welcome back to another one of my weekly Sunday card readings. And this spread will start by covering November 1st through the 7th, or whenever you're guided to watch, as I always intend these to be timeless readings, meaning you can come back to my channel at any time, scroll through the videos for guidance, wisdom, insight, and support. So, welcome. Before I begin, I just want to share a stream of thought, an element of consciousness that I'm in right now. And I kind of want to shine a light on this separate and divide energy that so many people seem to be in. The 3D world, the world of consumerism, materialism, is really enveloped in sides, right? Good, bad, right, wrong, positive or negative, one or the other. Now, it's never, as I say often, good, bad, right, wrong, positive or negative, right? As I see, from my perspective, the world as a world of duality, as in the yin-yang philosophy, right? You have the black side, you have the white side. And in the black, you have the circle of white, and in the white, you have the circle of black, and it's what brings balance and harmony. So here's the thing. So many of you have been watching this channel, and as I've been reflecting upon all the messages week after week after week from this year, I just keep seeing the overall message of union, harmony within the self, right? So it feels like the separation and divide that people can feel inside, right? Masculine and feminine, or the ego mind, the spirit mind, one or the other. It's also to the imbalance with caregivers, where sometimes, a lot of times, caregivers can overgive, overshare, overdo, and lack that self-esteem, worth, value, and taking good self-care of the self. So that separation or side, one or the other, it comes up very often. And I think that's why we're seeing such a manifest of it in the world. And so this week, I want to encourage you to sit with the energy of balance, right? I've been speaking a lot this year about the balance of the masculine and feminine energy, meaning we cannot continue to go and take action and, continue with all the tasks and the responsibilities and the have-tos and shoulds without taking pause, right? Without valuing rest and recovery and recharge and kindness. It's really good to be empowered and yeah, I'm doing this and I'm amazing and I'm rocking it. But also too, I'm such a lover of sleep, and this nothingness is just delicious, you see? And so the more we can come together in harmony, balance, and union within ourselves, being mindful that our own inner masculine and inner feminine are working together, I believe we can energetically manifest that in the world. If enough people are focusing on their own harmony within, right? Giving and receiving, that's another healthy way to look at it, right? When we're giving and receiving. Let's see, when, I've spoke about this year about the word one and how the ego mind, the separate and divide, right? The shadow wants to look at the word one and it distorts it, making it alone, by yourself, single, and it creates this depressed energy, right? And I think that's why this year a lot of people have struggled with that singledom, because there's been a mass separation of connection, right? The spirit version of the word one, or the divine energy that goes into one is harmony. It's an expansiveness. It's we're all together, a collective of one, right? So this is the stream of conscious that I'm working with. If everything in this world is one, then how can I create balance and harmony within myself to radiate that out into my world and start creating, right, a world around me of oneness, the divine oneness. And so here's the thing too, in the yin yang, the white part represents the masculine, the black part represents the feminine. We see it in the sun and the moon, right? The light and the dark. And so neither is good or bad. They're all important. They're not. They're both sides. Both sides are just as valuable and equally beneficial in a different way, right? So our ego is something to be embraced because that's where we learn about our shadow stuff, our inner child work, our past life work, right? To heal. And that's part of the spiritual journey. But then also too, being in the sunlight and the warmth and that energy creates growth, right? When the sun shines down on the planet, growth appears, massive growth, right? And so this week here in the United States, we're going into a week of just massive energy. We have an election here, a very heated, divided, unfortunately, election here in this country. We also have Mercury going to direct. Mars is still retrograde, and we just entered the phase of the full moon, which is the second full moon on Halloween of the month of October, which is all about like shadows and the unseen and the divine feminine energy, right? And so really, I guess my message is, how can you embrace both sides as equally valuable, however you're looking at it, whether you're looking at it through the presidential election, whether you're looking at it through the external world, or most importantly, how can you practice the balance of giving and receiving, the inner work as your spiritual journey, and the soul mission work, which is the work you do in service of others, right? How can you be mindful to create that balance? And I truly believe the more we can do that within ourselves, the more that energy radiates out. And that's peace on earth, right? When you feel good, the people around you naturally feel good. It's law of attraction. It's the energy. The people who won't will just go away. You won't match them, right? And so when they feel good, the people around them feel good. And when they feel good, the people around them feel good. And so on and so forth. So that's my message this week. If you're finding yourself getting uplifted, just consumed by the intensity of the week, pull back and ask Creator, ask the divine, ask the angels how you can continue to restore your own inner balance, right? The masculine energy and the feminine energy is equally important. They're not necessarily the same. They're not. They're two different vibrations, but each has incredible power and value. So how can we see that within ourselves and then shift our perception so that we could see it in the world, right? I think the biggest example of that right now is the red versus blue, right? And the left versus right, right? How can we look at it and pull from, again, two very different streams of thought, but how can we pull in some balance and think of it as an energy on a whole and not attaching it to one specific person? So that's on my heart. I've been really asking God to show me, what I need to learn from this intensity, we have this belief in this divine feminine stream of consciousness as above, so below, as within, so without, right? And so I'm really sitting on how I can embody God's love, how I can be a beacon of love. In what I know, I'm still human. I'm not perfect, and I don't claim to be. I don't want that. I don't want that pressure. But I ask God every day, how can I be love? And what I always get is be healed. Work on your healing. Balance out your life, masculine and feminine energy. Fill yourself up. Allow yourself to be nourished, cherished, and being able to give and receive, right? Being a beacon of light. So I just posted on Friday a full moon pick a card reading. I'm going to link it at the end of this video on the screen. And I did a really cool spread where, I tap into the divine feminine energy, mother moon energy, and a guide comes up, and what that guide feels you can release, or what would support you in releasing this full moon energy, and then also to what you'll be gifted with, which I think is beautiful, and then like an overall message. So it really turned out to be a beautiful reading. So I encourage you, if you want to, go more into healing through this full moon, blue moon, harvest moon, full moon in Taurus energy. I'm not going to talk too much about that. So I chose all angels this week. So I'm going to start with the Archangel Oracle cards. Power of surrender, what you can surrender this week. In support, remember, when you do this work, you're healing generations, you're healing your lineage, you're healing your mother and father's generation and their parents' generation and their parents. When we can break these streams of consciousness that are no longer serving the planet, when we can break away from these old paradigms of disempowering women, putting this pressure on masculine energy, right, to change, and this pressure on the feminine to shift and evolve and be something she's not. It can get really messy. So I'm also going to pull from crystal angels. This is all different kinds of crystals, and how the crystal earth energy can support you this week. Then a prayer that you can say this week to support you in your own healing journey. And then I will finish with flower therapy. This is my deck that I like to connect with the Holy Spirit and the divine power of love, so or your soul self. So I'll pull an overall message of love from flower therapy. All right, let me get into it. Let me start with my opening prayer, inviting in all your guardian angels and guides, the archangels, the ascended masters, the divine mother and father, and all their holy beings of light who would like to assist. I'd also like to invoke the energy of the archangels specifically. And I'm going to ask that any messages that come through this morning, this day, be for your best and highest good and the best and highest good of all concerned. All right, friends. I was talking to the angels. I called them friends. All right, angel friends, what do you have to say for us this week? What is the most important angel that we can benefit this week? This powerful, powerful first week of November, right? I'm channeling this on Halloween, but this will go out on 1/1/11, new beginnings. So super powerful energy. Let's see. An angel wants to come out. Easy enough. So, Archangel Uriel, you know what to do. So his message says, trust your inner knowledge and act upon it without delay. Wow. So I'm feeling decision making with this. I'm feeling so Archangel Uriel. is the keeper of the inner light. He ignites the light within. He's also the angel of forgiveness. So, one of the ways I describe Uriel is through the emotions. When we're feeling like we're on that tsunami wave of emotions, which certainly can be activated this week, right? When we invite Archangel Uriel in our lives, when we're feeling that tsunami wave of emotions welling up, it seems so overpowering and destructive and scary. When we invite Archangel Uriel in, it's like he'll pluck us off the tsunami wave and he'll plop you on a catamaran in the Caribbean. That's usually how I visualize it, meaning that you have support at your back. You're still riding the wave, but it's not as intense. And then you have some sunshine beaming down on you, right? So if you're feeling overwhelmed this week with emotion, I feel like then you know what to do is because you've been working through this. You've been learning healthier skills, right? Healthier ways to move through and experience your feelings and emotions without spilling them and dumping them on other people, and without repressing them, right? So Archangel Uriel can support you this week, especially with decision making as well. You know, usually I connect decision making with the Archangel Michael, but I just keep seeing that word with the Archangel Uriel this week. And so, you know, he works with the energy of forgiveness. Which forgiveness can be connected with anger, resentment, and bitterness, right? That how dare you, how could you, and what about me energy, right? Which is a normal human activation or trigger sometimes, right? But when we can explore that, saying, wow, what do I need right now, right? Because usually those emotions create the symptom of anxiety, right? Anxiety in so many ways is a symptom of unmet needs. So if you're being activated this week with emotions, how can you break the cycle of, again, maybe spilling everywhere or that verbal vomit, right? That doesn't do anybody any good, because it's just a quick release. There's really no healing or depth in it. Or instead of stuffing it and packing it down, how can you explore those feelings and those emotions in a healthy way? And then going to your inner feminine, right? The wisdom. What am I learning about this? Like, wow, I'm really feeling this. What do I need right now? A lot of times it's to feel safe. It's to feel supported. It's to feel connected. It's to feel self-love and, right, giving yourself a minute. Sometimes this anxiety and this anxiousness can come from people-pleasing, right? Over-giving, oversharing, overdoing, because we want people to love us, right? We want people to care for us. But yet also too, over-giving, over-loving, oversharing also sometimes can attract in energies of takers, right? That don't necessarily have the ability to give back. And that's, again, not a good, bad, right, wrong, positive, or negative thing. That's a stage of their growth and development that they're in, right? So we have to be able to, on a mass level, be able to heal and grow and have healthy coping skills, right? That's where this planet has been in a mental and emotional health crisis, right? And things of the world are triggering that. And I can speak to, oh man, I've worked with so many therapists, traditional therapists, counselors, healers who are going from a traditional approach and incorporating in the psycho-spiritual work. They know there's this traditional ways of psychology and psychotherapy that works or worked, but also too with the incorporation of inner child work and the Jungian philosophies, the shadow work, that our healing can go even deeper and is even more powerful when they're working together, right? So it's such a beautiful thing for me to see all these traditional psychotherapists and holistic mental health professionals who are all shifting into the holistic approach. It's just fascinating, incredible. And the reason why I say this is that there's so much out there that you don't have to do this on your own, right? Support is crucial on this healing journey. So maybe you've had a build up and this week is like, that's it. I'm finally making this step. I'm jumping, I'm taking that leap of faith, and I'm going to make changes, knowing that that's a long process. It doesn't have to be a daunting process. With support, it can be incredibly liberating. So that's Uriel. So what does Uriel suggest would be most beneficial if you surrender this week? Surrender into the full moon. Surrender and leave in 2020. Wow. Oh, I love it. So the card says, once you've done everything you can to achieve a goal, turn the situation over to the divine. Let spirit work its magic for you. Co-creating, right? The divine feminine energy is insight, intuition, unseen. It's the magic and wonder that taps into this force, right, that operates within us, that we all have access to. But if you can think about our body being a home, and if we're not allowing of support, or we're not aware how we're becoming out of balance in the ego consciousness, right? That extreme part that wants to pull you out of balance or wants to pull you away from the I am that I am, right? I am me with Creator and God, and we are co-creators. That extreme part of that ego can pull you outside of that into the I am. I know. It's all about me, right? They're both beneficial, but there needs to be balance with it, right? So we have to be mindful that when we're feeling short, abrasive, snappy, when we're feeling triggered in anger, it's a sign that we're coming out of alignment with that natural balance. So you can actually use that as saying, oh, thank you, ego. I know what that feels like. And then I can pause a moment and surrender to spirit. Like, gosh, I'm feeling really afraid right now and out of control. And this period in my life is really scary, and I don't know what to do about it, but God, I'm going to give it to you. Angels, I'm going to give it to you. I have talked about this at the beginning of the year when I made a bigger financial commitment and I moved into a new apartment, and 3 days later, the entire world shut down. And at that moment, I had no income because my office needed to be shut down and I didn't have internet. They wouldn't come into the house, and my classes and my events were all canceling. And so fear, which is normal, just consumed me. But yet my old way of doing things, especially as a Cancer dominant person, right? My zodiac sign being like quadruple Cancer, immediately wanted to go there to that negative thinking, that worries and fears. But there was something in me that moment that was just like, enough. I am so tired of feeling that way that I literally dropped to the ground, put my back at the floor. I actually grabbed my Lakshmi statue. I have this beautiful Lakshmi statue. I put her at the top of my head, and then I just talked to God. I said, God, this is really scary right now. I'm going to be trusting and believing in you, and you're all I have. I think I actually said, don't let me down, right? Which was just my own, struggles with not believing in myself, right? And so for a whole week, all I could do is unpack and pray and lay on the floor and stare at the ceiling and just believe, right? And I can tell you, friends, right after that, everything else shifted. And by the grace of God, I have been very well taken care of this year, and I'm so grateful for that. But I feel like I needed that moment. So you might come up against a situation or experience this week that can actually be the severing of the chains, of the ties and binds and shackles that have kept you in this dark space for so long. And so God is saying, when it gets to that point, come to me. Let Spirit work its magic for you. And the beautiful thing is, I am well enough, healthy enough, vibrant enough to share that story in my humanness and say, we all go there, right? In that moment, I knew what to do. It was nothing. It's just get on the floor and pray, right? Lay down. And I really connected with Mother Earth. And I said, Mother Earth, all your wealth comes from you. All our money, all our crystals, all our diamonds, all our jewelries, it comes from you. All the gold, I'm open to receiving. And so I felt the earth at my back growing in a totally different way. So, I'm not saying everything was perfect and easy since then, but I think that was the moment I stepped out of surviving into thriving, and Creator wants that for you, right? Because you're the inspiration, you're the beacon of light. When we're open and receptive and our heart is healing and we're in this energy of love, God and Creator and the universal energy can work through us and be the embodiment of miracles, right? Being the miracles that people need to see to call them back to the light, right? All right, so what crystal, speaking of Mother Earth and crystals, what crystal can be supportive for you this week? What energy? Now, if you have this crystal, great. If not, you can just put the card on pause. You can, print an image out of it on the computer, and just let Mother Earth's energy support you. All right, so Uriel, what crystal can be supportive this week? Ooh, unakite or unakite? So, answered prayers. Oh my gosh, friends. All your great work has opened the door for divine solutions and support. I'm so glad I just shared that story with you, because that's exactly what this card is speaking to, right? Surrender to Spirit, answered prayers. Trust your inner knowledge and act upon it without delay. This doesn't necessarily mean do something and take action, right? It means, hey, if something's out of your control, call on Creator, call on Source, and your prayers will be answered. Let this be your go-to as opposed to your last resort. God's favor isn't so limited that you need to wait to call it in. So here's the thing. When people buy gift certificates for my services, one of the common things I get for the people who come in to reimburse those gift certificates was, I waited until I really needed it. It's like they held on to it, and there were probably many points where they could have used this gift certificate and benefit from it, but they were hanging on to it, meaning it was in their consciousness, it was like limited. I'm only going to get one of these, right? Which is a lie, because spiritual support is always abundantly with us, whether it's through, an interfaith minister like me, or a spiritual advisor like me, or through counseling, or through your grandma who knows a lot about life, right? Or your grandpa who knows a lot about life. That energy can come in a multitude of ways. So I feel like the angels are encouraging you to let that be a go-to, calling on them for assistance as opposed to a last resort, or I'm going to save this until I really need it. People do it with massages, right? They save it until, I'm in so much pain, right? But if you knew that when you listen to your heart and saying, you know what, I'm going to use that now, or I'm going to make that appointment, you'd be amazed how it opens up energy and shifts that lack vibration, where the universe, it really just opens up that window of, man, I feel good. Whether it's like booking that appointment with a psychotherapist or a psychologist because you need support, it's getting that massage, or it's like calling up that friend and saying, hey, let's do a Zoom chat, or let's social distance or meet up. And I know you've got a lot going on, but we could really shift our energy together, just taking that initiative when you first start to feel like you need it can shift things instead of the spiral of it getting worse, right? When you start to feel that pain, check in with yourself. Interestingly enough, a few weeks ago, I was starting to spiral myself. I just had a weekend that it just triggered me. And I knew the wounds, and I knew where it was coming from. And it was something I had been working on for a long time, but it was like, boom, here I am. It's literally like the angels are like, she's fading. We're losing her. It was like that alert, and that fire alarm going off, whoop, whoop. And then I had this idea to call one of my spiritual mentors who helps me with, my programs and healing. And so I knew she had stuff going on. So I messaged her and I was like, hey, any chance you have an appointment available in the next few weeks? Friends, I kid you not. She responded back and she says, Are you ready right now? Do you have a minute? Do you have time right now? And I was like, oh my God, yes. And for that reason, I didn't have, for some reason, I didn't have any clients booked that day. And it was just like a divine miracle. So she actually had a client who, the client in that moment, it kind of fell through. And so I was really kind of like the fill-in. So it worked. It worked mutually for both of us in that moment. And it was just one of those things. And I just kind of laughed because instead of sitting on it, stewing on it, waiting a week, immediately I called out and it was instant. It was instant healing. And I was so grateful for that because I know that this person, she's busy. So it's not like she has appointments readily available right away. So it was just divine intervention. And I was so grateful. That was like the miracle. So again, I feel like this card is saying, let your connection with the divine and asking them for assistance be your go-to as opposed to your last resort. Think about it like the sunshine. If we can connect Creator like the sunshine, we have one sun for the entire planet, and everybody utilizes the energy of the sun, right? All at once, and it's never ending. It's an infinite supply. And if you can think about Creator and the angels that way, by asking for assistance, it's like you're taking one ray of sunshine on top of the gajillion rays of sunshine that beam down on us from heaven, right? And I started to say earlier about, like, if you can think about, our body being a temple, and the ego can pull us out of alignment with ourselves, which can make it look like we're closing all the windows in our house, right? We're not letting any light in. We can only survive so long on artificial light, right? We need the vitamin D. We need the light of the sunshine. So a lot of the world, it's like they've closed out the divine light and they're living in their temples with closed doors and shutters on the windows, right? All you have to do is open up your shades. All you have to do is take the boards down off of the windows that you've boarded up, right? Because of pain or fear or worry or doubt. The light is always there. All we have to do is open up to it. So Creator has always been there. It's when we get far deep into the ego, right, and get lost in it, that gives us this appearance that God has left us or it's not there. And I feel like this is speaking to maybe those of you who have fallen into that dark space, right? And there's no judgments with it. It's how we learn. It's a pathway, right? It's a way to, it's how I'm doing that many times unconsciously is how I've been able to grow in my own faith and understand universal laws and to be able to support and teach people from that space. So embrace it as a way, as a pathway to learning, and all you have to do is look up. All you have to do is say, surrender into spirit, and that light is always there for you. So what prayer can you say this week if you fall into this space? Or those of you who are earth angels who have been on this spiritual journey, teach this, right? You have some people in your life who are going through a really dark space. They're maybe in a really negative space. Teach this to them. Be the embodiment of light and love, right? By being the example, not telling people what they need to do, what they should do, just being the embodiment of it, offering a smile when people are prickly, saying, I understand, or, that's really, really hard right now, but I'm believing that God has a plan for you, or, I know Mother Earth is working on healing you, whatever resonates with that person. Teach this. You're going to be asked to step into your power. And this is why so many earth angels have been working on worth and value and self-esteem and your message so that you can be empowered when people are prickly. All right, so let me see here. So the prayer this week. Wow, leap of faith. Yes. I'm ready to take a leap, angels. Thank you for doing it with me. See, co-creating together. Oh gosh, I love this. I think I want to just put these down here. I like the idea of them all being together. So let's see here. Leap of faith. So I'm feeling like this might be setting a boundary with somebody. A leap of faith might be like saying enough. Stop. A leap of faith may be surrendering control and that I know energy, or maybe looking at your ego self and saying, you're a liar and you are not serving me. But I can learn from you. So, Spirit, what am I learning from this? You see how you can kind of transform it. We're not demonizing anything here. We're embracing all sides, but we have to be open to the idea that we can learn from everything, right? If you're falling into that separate and divide within you, this is good, this is bad, this is right, this is wrong, right? That surrendering to that critic and that bully within you, it's going to scream louder in the external world for you and what you're seeing because it's a part of you to heal within. Right? So maybe taking a leap of faith and change this week, or really looking at the shadow, working with guides to assist you. I just see this energy here that's like, we're in it to win it, right? Her hands are lit up, her heart is lit up, and we're like, we're doing this together. And there's just some powerful symbolism of her looking up and the light shining down on her. So I'm also feeling like if you've been doing this, this is a like hip hip hooray, cheers to you. It's a pat on the back for how far you've come. So it's like a kudos. They recognize that you've taken this leap of faith, and congratulations. And this is the stuff that's coming from it, and you're going to be activated in being the role of the teacher. I can tell you, friends, from my own experience and the people I work with, this healing journey isn't for the faint of heart, but God bless you. Keep showing up to it. And it's so inspiring. It's so oh gosh, humbling to see the darkness that people have come from and how their lives are changing because of it. It really is powerful. So let's finish up this reading here with an overall message from the Holy Spirit, your higher self, your soul self, speaking to your spiritual journey. What is the most important thing you need to know this week? Overall message. Whoa, that one just flew right out. Let's see here. All right. Oh man, I am feeling the love this morning. Says you can trust the people around you. They are earth angels sent to give you the guidance you seek. So God is saying here that I am going to send my army of earth angels to find you, to assist you, to support you. So earth angels, if you're connecting with somebody who's having a really difficult time this week, know that God is working through you. You know what to do. Hug them, love them, understand them, right? If you find yourself resisting, like if somebody's getting prickly or ornery, how can you, relax, breathe, and open, right? And also could do set your own boundaries and create space to really recharge your own energy. But God is using you, right? The people who are going through a metamorphosis, it's like they need to see that people are healing, that spirit is real, that the divine is a power to be trusted, right? And those of you who may find yourself challenged this week, God will send his armies of angels to support you. It may be somebody posting a meme or something on social media that was exactly what you needed to hear. It might be a message from a friend that you haven't heard from in a while. It actually might be the carnation itself. I have a few of these. I got some flowers last week, and there was some mums in it and some roses and a couple lilies, and there's these beautiful carnations in it. So that actually might come up for you, that flower this week. It says you can trust the people around you. I really feel that's the angels. I really feel like that's the divine messages that are coming for you, to you. If somebody's coming to you and wanting to love you, let them. If they want to gift you, right, receive it with gratitude. I was going to say like hugs, but oh gosh, the humanness of this, inhumaneness of this pandemic has been really hard because we're not able to connect in that natural human way, like hugs and getting together. And so the angels are saying, but we can be that. We can give you many, 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 many kisses. We can give you many, 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 many loves. And that will come from like animals in the world. That'll come from messages that come out of your children's mouths, or it will be things you hear and just those God wings, right? The numbers, the license plates, the numbers on a clock, the letters on license plates. Those are all those God winks this week. So trust when you see the God winks that that's this force working with you, saying we love you so much. Wow, I'm going to end there. That is just beautiful. All right, friends, so let me close space, thanking all your guardian angels and guides, the archangels, the ascended masters, the divine mother and father, and all their holy beings of light. Specifically, I want to give gratitude to the Archangel Uriel for stepping forward this week. And if I hadn't mentioned, his color is yellow, so wearing yellow, and again, igniting that light within will be very powerful. And I'm going to ask that any healing that was started continue for as long as it needs to be done. New beginnings, my friend. 1-1-11. Keep your thoughts positive. Focus on your desires and pull that in a healthy way. All right, so if I can be any of support to you, my subscription program has been amazing. We have some beautiful souls in the group, and what's turned out to be, we're doing 2 meetups a month. The first meetup of the month is a class. This one coming up will be November 9th. It's a Monday, and it's offered free to subscribers, and it will be on meditations, variations of meditations. And then the second one of the month, I always do a live card reading, and everybody in the group gets messages. So if you're in need of support, regular support, the information for my subscription group is below. We'd be happy to have you join us. And then also too, if I can be of support and assistance, I am still available for video chats to talk things out, life purpose, mediumship, oracle card readings are available. So reach out if you're feeling guided. All right, thank you so much for watching. I love you. God loves you so much. Trust in the divine, trust your intuition, and I send you love with heavenly hugs. Bye for now.